What's up, YouTube? This is going to be a rambling video full of me talking. More talking than playing. If you don't want to hear it, totally understand if you go watch something else. So I want to talk about why my cable is stuck under my chair. No, had a lot of experimentation with pickups in this guitar. The DK24, pretty cool little guitar, but I don't know. I love everything in the signal chain. Sounds great. Same with every other guitar I have. This one though never did it for me. Plugged into the rig, so logic would tell you pickups are the problem. I did a video a couple months ago playing with the Super Distortion and comparing samples between the full shred that was in this guitar. At the time, Glenn Fricker did some good videos showing that like pickups don't really matter when you're just sitting in the control room listening back. It's a waste of money. And I thought, I mean, his samples, you're right, it doesn't matter. But like that's counterintuitive to everything, you know, I've experienced over 30 years. And so I was like, is that right? Is that right? That doesn't sound right, but I kind of get it. So I kind of went on a pickup journey, went a little crazy, and I put, I don't know, 8 or 9 pickups in this guitar. It was ridiculous. But I'm really happy with how I got it dialed in, so I thought maybe I'd just share what I learned. I'll play a little bit so you can hear it. And then there's still like one problem I have with the guitar. And so, I don't know, throw a question out if anybody here knows it. I'm tired of forums and angry, unhelpful things, so I don't know, maybe this will be a better outfit. So, challenges with this guitar is there's less space to work with. So, two things. One, the direct mount pickups, they go straight into the wood rather than being suspended in the plastic rings that you see on like a Les Paul or something. Or something pointing to a Les Paul that you can't see. Not helpful. So why this matters, so the Super Distortion sounded great, but I had the thing screwed down as far as I could, and it was like really close to the strings. It's a taller pickup than like most of the standard stuff, and so that caused a problem where I could have bought a really hot neck pickup to balance it, but I don't know if I want to do that, and I wasn't happy with any of the ones I had or tried. So ultimately, you know, not being able to move it farther away from the strings was kind of a limiting factor for that in this guitar. Another thing is this is a 24 fret neck, and so there's less space this way that you're picking up on the strings, which is not my favorite. I prefer 22 fret necks. Charvel, please make a DK22 with HSH or HH in it. That would be great. They don't do that for some reason. But yeah, moving this pickup farther down there is what I prefer. I'm more into like the jazz fusion-y kind of sound, and I like a warmer neck pickup. Okay, so really dug the Super Distortion. I'm glad I tried it. I still have it. I mean, maybe I'll put it in something else at some point, but I did not care for the Alnico 2 Pro either, and so I have a Dimarzio Air Classic I threw in here. At first, I thought the nickel cover plate looked weird in the guitar, and then I started really liking it. But the problem there was it just didn't balance at all with the Super Distortion. It was way too hot, way too quiet, no matter how close I got to the strings. But I love the sound of an Air Classic, so it kind of makes me, again, like I kind of want to just buy another Warmith just to put a set of the Air Classics in it, because that is a really, really cool pickup. Yeah, anyway, there's a video of Steve Lukather on YouTube where he's playing the Dimarzio Transition set, and it sounds awesome. He's going through an ecstasy, and I always loved that video and was like, let's just try a set of these. Why am I wasting time, you know, looking at different sets and mix match? Just buy this set. So I've had these in for 2.5, 3 months now. I've had the set of the Dimarzio Transitions in here. Man, they're cool. It's perfect with the formula of the rig and in this guitar. Really, really like them. And then the single coil. At first, I didn't care for the split sounds, and I thought, I have an Area 58, which is a killer silent single coil. That'd be perfect. Put it in, and what I noticed is it didn't fix the problem, which was interesting to me, because I know that's a good pickup that I like the sound of. And it was actually quite a bit quieter than the stock Duncan and SSL 6 or 1 or whatever this is called. So I felt like it actually was worse, because I wanted the hotter sound for the split sounds in the guitar. Yeah, so that was one thing. And then the other thing I changed was wiring. So this guitar has some good split sounds by default. You know, you get the standard, you know, kind of position 4 in a Strat or whatever, 2, whichever you call it. The middle position is a good sound, like the outer 2 coils, which sounds cool, but I like getting both pickups split, and so I changed the wiring to get to where the middle position is both, and then here is that split sound, and then you get the full neck pickup. And the reason I did that, I mean, I love that 2 sound you get in a Strat where it's, you know, the split here. It did not sound good with these pickups, and part of the reason is probably just because it was these 2 coils and they're so close to each other. It sounds terrible with these pickups. You know, I suspect if you move it from this coil to here or turn the pickup physically in the guitar, it probably fixes it. Dimarzio says this is one where if you rotate it, it affects the sound quite a bit. So I didn't want to do that because I like the way it sounds. Ultimately, it's a pretty good compromise, I think. Here's the neck pickup. That's a pretty good sound. Here's that split telly kind of. Middle, both pickups in parallel. I like that sound a lot. And then the normal dire straight sound. That works really well. And bridge sound, of course. It just oozes Queensryche, right? Okay, so I'll play a little bit. I think it sounds killer. If I can play the right stuff. Killer sound, man. And then that middle sound gets like kind of that Nuno-ish thing. So yeah, totally digging the sound. So here's what I learned. I don't think Glenn's wrong. I think he's right that you're talking in the subtleties a lot, and so you know if you change it, you know, 2 to 10% of the sound is not near as much as like a speaker or the mic position is going to be way more drastic. Totally buy that. I think what's missing from that story is when you move from being the engineer listening to what's recorded to the player. Pickups do matter quite a bit in the bigger picture of what's happening here from your hands translating to the amp and back to your ear. This feedback loop, it's different. And again, the goal is to get something that feels right? So when you're working the instrument, it's working for you, not against you, and that you like what you're getting back. And literally the stock pickups in this guitar were not giving that to me, like, period. Are these the perfect Magic set? No. There's probably hundreds of sets that I'd be just as happy with. So this doesn't really matter that I'm happy with the transitions, which I am. These are great pickups. But like, I probably could have pulled out any other guitar and put them in here. Would have been great. Probably. But yeah, so dialing in things like pickups is totally worth doing. For me, the goal is to get everything just right, and or to a point to where it's doing exactly what you need it to. It's like optimized to that level. And yeah, pickups are it's part of the equation you gotta factor in. So yeah. Anyway, did I need to buy and experiment with that many pickups? I don't know, but well, the way it sounds great now, and it's super fun to play. It's inspiring, which was exactly the problem before. So the final thought is, like, since I didn't measure everything and do scientific stuff before and after, how do we know it's not the placebo effect? I don't care if it's the placebo effect, because I'm getting what I want. So maybe that's a factor. How much? Is it 5%? Is it 80%? I don't know. Ultimately, I don't care. I'm going to take the blue pill and just be happy. Oh, the other lesson is that I literally hesitated to buy the set because they're ceramic magnets, and somewhere in the back of my mind I read on the gear page that ceramics suck and it's got to be Alnicos and blah 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 blah. Man, all that stuff doesn't matter. Specs on a page don't. It's the final result that matters. And so these are ceramic. Super Distortion is ceramic. Sound freaking great. What's in my Jetback Strat are actually ceramic noiseless. They're great. So I think I've totally passed my bias for ceramic pickups, or just that is like not as good of a spec. So I wouldn't let that throw you if anybody else has that. Yeah, I've read similar stuff to that. So sorry, it's a long rant. Not a lot of playing, but oh, and the one thing I need help with. This guitar is shielded on the back, and it gets noisy and poppy after changing pickups. And I fixed it by putting a ground wire on the volume pot and sandwiching it between the foil on the back plate and the conductive paint on the inside. That fixes it, but that's a very unstable thing. Like, you take this, let me carefully wedge that wire in between. What's a better fix? Like, I don't know how to. Do I have to repaint the cavity? If anybody can help with that, I would love an answer, because what I have here, again, it works great, but it's very fragile. Like I wouldn't tour with an instrument in this, with a fix like that. So it's a little bit of a duct tape thing. What am I doing wrong? Is there a better way? I failed at Googling it. So anyway, sorry, this video is too long. Thanks. Cheers.